Okay, today we were working on the Polaris Ranger, the full-size versions. I got a couple here. I've got the 800 Crew and the regular 800 XP single-seater. What we're going to do here is going to do a radiator install. I'm going to show you what's involved. What we've got is we have a kit here to where we don't have to get into the full disassembly of the front end to get the radiator out. We're going to do a simple replacement cover once we cut out some of this plastic piece here. First of all, what we're going to want to do is remove this whole front grille headlight assembly. Simply reach in, unhook your headlights, driver's side, passenger side, undo these two bolts here, these two bolts here, these two bolts here, and these two bolts on top, and remove the front grille. And then you're going to want to come down here and remove these plastic covers that are just behind the shocks on the driver's side and passenger side. They are easier to remove once you get this front grille off. Reason we need to pull them pieces off is so you can get to the radiator hoses. That'll be the next step. Undo your radiator hoses once you've drained your antifreeze. Make it easier to get to because the drain plug is on the passenger side, just in front of the radiator. So once you've done that and you remove the hoses, we're going to now work on cutting out this piece of plastic. Okay, now to remove this piece of plastic, you can choose to use a really sharp carpenter knife. That worked well. You'll need a hacksaw blade. Not necessarily a hacksaw, you're going to need something that's going to be able to cut in long. I've got this little air sawzall tool I use to help cut it out. So pretty much what we're going to do here is take the carpenter knife and cut across this from this corner here to the opening here in the overflow bottle, and then come up here across till you hit this lip inside this cavity here. So come across, up over the lip into this edge here. From here you're going to work across, or back, across, all the way over to the other side, and you're going to come to this edge here where it comes up out of the cavity, and then you're going to come across to this radiator hose opening here. And once you've got the cut deep through to where you actually make the blade stick all the way through the plastic, you're going to have like little reinforcement plastic gussets behind here. You're going to have 4 of them. You're going to have one right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. And this is what you're going to need that hacksaw blade or a sawzall blade, and you probably have somebody give you a hand. What you're going to have to do, this one I've already got cut out, kind of show you where these gusset pieces are. Kind of dirty, but there's one there, one there, one there. And I got into the cut, pried this out, and just cut straight up and down as possible, so that way you can leave these gusset pieces to rest on this metal frame. And just cut across the back of that cavity, pry that open, and just cut across all 4 of them. Then once you get it done, you should have a piece that looks like that, which you can discard because we're going to have a replacement cover to go over all of this. So now you can get to that radiator nice and open, and you don't have to tear apart all of that to get to it. Okay, now that you have everything cut and open, you got your radiator hoses unhooked, your overflow tube unhooked, you unhook your radiator fan, just unclip it, undo these top 2 mounting screws for the radiator. I already got these loose. Pull them out, set them aside. Now that you got everything loose, you can simply pull the radiator up and out. Once you get the radiator out, turn around here. You're going to want to undo, take this off, undo the fan loose. You need to take out these rubber grommets. You need to make sure that the rubber grommets that go on these pegs are still in the bottom here. It's a little dark, but make sure you've got 2 of these. Just leave them in the bottom. And next what you're going to want to do is remove this overflow bottle. It's got 2 little screws that are just behind this. Remove that. Once you've got all that removed, we'll start with the installation of the brand new radiator. Okay, now that you have your old radiator out, your new radiator sitting on the bench, take your grommets, get them set, everything back in. Okay. And then you need your metal bushings. And then take your fan, set that on there. Take the hardware that's provided. You'll have a flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut. And you will have to mount the fan on the radiator before you put that into the outfit. Okay. Get all 4 of them put on there. Get them tightened up, and the radiator will be ready to go in there. Make sure that the 2 grommets that are for the pin are in the bottom down here. You're going to want to make sure that they're in here before you put the radiator on. It's a lot easier to install that way. Okay, the next step, what you're going to want to do is take this bracket out of your kit that we send you. You get 2 screws, 2 little flat washers, and 2 spacers. Take the spacers, put them in between the bracket. Then go ahead and tighten it up. Then what you're going to want to do is get the 2 screws that originally mounted the bottle in here. Go ahead and get one started. And then push it back as tight as you can to the edge towards the rear of the machine, and tighten up both screws. Okay, now that's tightened up. We'll move on to putting in a couple zip ties in this plastic piece here. It'll just help you with the install of the radiator, plus tighten up a piece that's just loose in the okay. Now the next step, this piece here that's kind of loose in here, what you're going to want to do is hold this up to this cross member, scribe a line, either scratch it, screwdriver, marker, whatever you need to do to get a line here. Next, you're going to take a drill bit with a 1/4 inch drill, drill about a 1/4 inch behind the line. And then I'm going to go ahead and drill just in front of the line. And in front of both. I'm going to take the zip tie and come up through the back one and down through the front one. Hold that up. Same on the other one. Come up from the back, down through the front one. Tighten it up. Then you go ahead and clip the excess out of your way. Okay, now that we have the overflow bottle mounted, we have this plastic piece secured. Go ahead and grab your radiator. It says make sure the grommets that are for these pins are down in the holes. What you want to do is slide this down in as careful as possible so you don't ding up the fin. I have to hold the battery cables up out of the way. Have a second hand to help you with that. Make sure you're not snagging any lines. Make sure your radiator hoses are slide back out of here. Get them centered up on them pins on the bottom. And push it down in. Make sure you're snug. Put in your two top screws. On the fan shroud, they usually went over the frame, but this is thicker, so you could choose to cut the frame off or cut this plastic piece off, or you can leave it. We have a top plate that goes over it. Okay, now that you got your radiator tightened up, you want to go ahead and hook up your radiator hoses, your fan connection, your overflow tube. Get everything run, tightened up. Make sure your hose clamps are tight. this point. Then what we're going to do is for this top plate installation, we're going to set this plate. I've already drilled these holes, but what we're going to do is you're going to use an 1/8 inch drill bit, and you're going to set this plate up to where it's pushed into this little crevice here just below the battery bungee hookups. You're going to take an 1/8 inch drill bit and you're going to hold this to where the holes are lined up from side to side, not front to back, because we got to get these holes done. So when the holes are lined up side to side, you're going to want to take an 1/8 inch drill bit and drill dead center into dead center of these little tabs that are right here on this bracket. So set that on there, drill dead center of them, and make sure you don't go crazy. Just drill to where you get through the plastic. Okay. Then once you get them drilled out, you can remove this plate. Take a 1/2 inch drill bit and drill, kind of in at a 45-degree angle. So you're going to go down, and you got 3 of them. You got one right here along this junction box, one that's right here, and one right here. Like it says, all you're going to do is use this plate to tell where the tabs are. Okay, once you get them drilled out, go ahead and set the plate in. Take the 2 bolts, get them started. Get them snug, finger snug. Then, so I do is take a screwdriver, put it between the frame and the plate. Just put a little bit of pressure. Basically, this is just going to help keep this from rattling or just coming loose. Tie it up against the plastic. Then go ahead and tighten them down. And that will finish the installation for your 2 1/4 thick radiator for your Ranger. It says this is a nice setup. It says you don't have to. You can change your radiator in about 15 minutes compared to the 1.5 hours or so it takes to remove the roll bar, this whole front hood, fender. It's quite a chore to do. So this is quite a nice setup if you happen to need to get in there, change your radiator out, pull your radiator out, flush it. A lot of these guys down south that love mudding, guys that love trees, leaves, it's a nice way to get in there, and easier way to get in there to keep your radiator clean or service it. Because this finishes up that radiator installation for your full size and mid-size Ranger radiator.